What's up, bitches? Welcome back to another episode of Positively Uncensored, your favorite reality TV and interview podcast. It's your host, Leah. Episode of Positively Uncensored. Today I'm joined with fan favorite Frank from Couple to Throuple. That's literally what I have our studio titled right now. Like, I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you for making time.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. It's been a long time coming. I love it.
Excited. And also, like, we rescheduled this interview, which everyone doesn't really need to know, but Frank is just so nice, flexible, accommodating. So I appreciate that. You have such good energy.
Yeah, and I kind of fucked up the first time too. I kind of got my EST, PST shit mixed up. So
it's a lot. It's a lot to digest. Yeah. I get it. So before we get into this, everybody open up your phones, pull up your Instagram, and make sure that you're following Frank if you're not already. It's _b.frank. Like, just be frank, right? Is that what we just said?
Yeah. Like, be frank about it.
Be frank about it.
The dot. You got to get the dot in there too.
The period is in there. Don't forget it.
Yeah, the period is in there. Period. Okay.
So before we talk about Couple to Throuple, I want to talk about you a little bit. So first of all, where are you from?
I'm originally from Dallas, Texas. I'm a Southern Belle, you know.
Love that.
But yeah, Dallas, Texas. But I grew up half and half. I was in Dallas, Texas till I was 14, and then came to California at 14, did high school in California, just finished up.
Do you have a preference? Like, do you still go back to Texas? Do you like South or West Coast better?
You know what? I love the South a lot. It's like the food's better, the people are better. The West Coast is a little harsh. You know, they're a little tough out here, you know, but, you know, it's building a tough skin for me. So I kind of like both equally. But if I had a preference, I'd definitely be in the South or maybe the Midwest. Shit. Let's shake it up a little bit.
I'm from the Midwest, so I love that.
Isn't you? Where from?
I am. I'm from Ohio.
Ohio. I have 3 uncles that live in Ohio. Cleveland.
30 minutes south of Cleveland. Yes. So I'm like right near there. Yes.
So you're a snow gal.
Totally. But I don't love it. Like, that's why I've moved back from California a year ago. We were in like Orange County, Newport Beach area for like 2 years. And then 2 years before that, we were in like Los Angeles County. So I got to see like different parts of California, became obsessed with the weather. But I was going to comment, everybody thinks that the East Coast people are like super harsh. Surprisingly, both coasts people are kind of harsh. Like, and you go to the West Coast,
East and West, yeah,
like that. Like, LOL, California, don't cut yourselves out because West Coast, they're still pretty brutally honest, and it's like a lot to adjust to when I first got there.
Right.
So you know what I mean? Like, you model.
I do model on the side, yeah.
Okay, so what else do you do?
Model. I'm a personal trainer, but by trade, I'm actually a dental hygienist. And I know it's weird, right? I'm a dental hygienist. I practice in Las Vegas. I put that on hold just to come out here to kind of pursue kind of, you know, entertainment, you know, more so just generalizing it all, modeling, acting, you know, all kind of stuff. So that's what I'm doing now. If it doesn't work out, I'll just go back to clean the teeth.
It's like apprehensive about the whole pursuing like basically a parent's worst nightmare. Like, okay, I'm going to try modeling, Hollywood, and like all of it. Were they supportive?
Well, my parents are Nigerian, so you know, Nigerian parents, they just like kind of like, you know, get to the bag and just have an honest career and
got it
and do this, be a doctor or whatever. But I was like, fuck it.
Yeah,
I kind of like it. So.
Yeah, you're like, in a way, I'm kind of both. So I
gave him a little bit, you know. I said, here's a little bit of dental hygiene, you know, but then let me kind of like do this now.
Yes, I get it. So, what reality TV had you watched prior to going on Couple to Throuple?
Oh, you know what? Growing up, I actually wanted to be on Real World. Okay,
I could see you on that.
I remember telling myself, I really want to be on Real World. I love this show so much. So I used to watch that show ritually. Real World, that's back in the past. But then recently, I've been watching Love Island.
Love.
A lot of Love Island. What is it called? The Bachelor.
Oh.
The Bachelorette. I'm a reality TV junkie. I love it all.
Okay, good.
I actually just recently started watching the first season of Fear Factor again.
Oh my God.
It's so fucking good. Like, you should watch it. It's so good. It's on Peacock. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it's on Peacock? Okay, I actually
It's on
will.
Peacock. Yeah, Peacock. The first season, it's like Joe looks hot as fuck. It is just like, oh my
Oh,
god, this
that's
is
huge.
like, yeah, this is like nice. I was like, this is so good. It kind of reminds me of the past too.
Weren't the challenges like obscene season one? Like this is like
They were flying it out of cars to fucking boxes.
that's what I thought. Like it's like and people
I was-
didn't know the show yet. So it was kind of like groundbreaking. Like I
yeah,
remember watching it being like, "Oh my God, like how are people doing this?"
yeah, it's like so scary. Like there's like so the last episode last night, they had this like Mercedes or some shit, and they were like jumped off a building. They drove it off a building until like a box of boxes. I was like, this is crazy.
I
Like
remember that.
that
I
shit would
remember
not
that.
fly around this time. It would not work out.
The bugs where they would put you in like a tank and then they would drop all the leeches and the snakes.
Oh
I
yeah,
couldn't do
yeah,
that
yeah.
to this day. Like that stuff, I would rather jump out of the building if I'm being honest.
See, I can do that. I would rather do that than jump out the building.
Okay,
You
that's
know,
fair.
like I'm so scared of heights. I think heights affect me more because I'm so tall. I don't know. I've always said that. I'm so tall. Like I'm 6'7"
Right.
almost, and
Holy shit, I didn't realize that you were that
yeah,
tall.
I'm really tall. Like anybody that recognizes me from the show outside, like at the store or whatever, they're like, "Frank, it's you! Oh my god, you're so big!" I'm like, oh, I don't know how I didn't look as big as I am on the show, but I'm huge.
I was
You
thinking
know?
6'2". Like to be
Oh no,
honest, I thought everybody was kind of small. You know what I mean? Like
oh
I
no.
like so I wasn't sure. Like I thought maybe like 6'2", 6'3". Okay, 6'7". So you're very tall.
If they showed Darian, so Darian and I, we actually had a kiss, during that game,
Oh
and
yes.
we had to stand next to each other. So if they would have showed us next to each other, it would have really showed the dynamic of how tall I am. But I guess they avoided it. I don't know. I'm not sure why they didn't show like me next to like someone really small. But I don't know. I'm just really
They
big.
I know. But I'm glad to know that now. That's like a fun fact. Like, okay, you're 6'7". You're scared of heights. I'm scared of heights too, but I'm also scared of
hmm
bugs. So like, I don't know. What did you think that like what did you want out of the experience when you found out about couple to throuple? Like what were you hoping to get from the experience?
Basically, so I went onto the show as one of these singles who had little to no experience in polyamory. So I just wanted to what I wanted mostly was just to broaden my horizons, just to see if I really like this and see if I could actually do this because I love and I love giving love, and I was like, why not give love to multiple people at the same time?
Yes.
Like let me try this out. Let me see if it works for me. And
Yes.
y'all saw it.
We saw
It
it.
did
We
work
saw
out.
it. So, how did they find you? Let's go back a second. How were you cast for the show?
I was recruited on
Okay.
Instagram.
I love that. Was it
Instagram.
sketchy?
Oh my gosh, girl, yes, it was so
It
sketchy. I thought I was
always
gonna be
is.
murdered. Like I
100%.
so when I finally decided to do it, mind you, my audition process was about 3 months. You know, I had to go through psych tests and they do extensive background tests to the point
Hmm.
where they pulled up something from 2004. Was like, you say you're an arson here, are you going to burn down the place? I was like, 2004? How'd y'all find that? I forgot I even posted that shit.
Like I
I was
don't even
like,
know if
who
that was
was
me.
that?
Yeah, like I don't even
And
know
then,
that me.
and then there was a post that said, "Oh, I'll slap that bitch," and I was like, I forgot I posted that, you know. But I wasn't really talking about slapping a female. Like, I like, come on now,
Right,
don't look
right.
like I was
But
slapping.
it's also like how did they like you know what I mean? Like look like I actually am shocked at the depths because I wasn't it makes me realize that when contestants do have nefarious things on their Twitter, for example, like let's
hmm
talk about Bachelor, for example.
Yeah,
I'm like, you guys knew. Like, don't play around. Like, you guys
right.
do.
You know what you said.
You knew that they said that because you
Right,
saw and you brought them on the show anyways. Like,
right,
don't play.
exactly.
Yes,
Well, with these shows, they're very careful with who they pick and what characters they want you to play. You know what I
got
mean?
it.
Like they had me on there because they knew who I was internally because they did so much, therapy and all this shit.
Yes.
So they knew who I was, so they knew exactly what I was going to give on the show. So whenever they post those people from like The Bachelor and shit, who have like those nefarious kind of
Mm-hmm.
emos and shit like that, they know what they're posting.
Yes.
They know who they're casting. like for sure.
Agreed. That's what I'm, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you saying that really made me realize that, like, wow, it's really not that shocking for them as production, as seniority casting people, because they
Oh yeah,
probably, like you said, that probably helps them to sort of fit people into a storyline of like, what role are you going to serve for the show?
exactly,
Because, like, on
exactly.
one hand, be yourself, but on the other hand, we already know you because we've
Mm-hmm.
done so much psych
Yeah,
examinations.
it's
And
literally psych
yes,
exam. Have you heard about those?
I've heard about it from other shows. Like, for example, I've heard allegedly Love is Blind and The Bachelor do extensive psychological evaluations.
I feel like
So
they did that same shit for us.
that's what I've heard. And I don't know that everyone else got as much into it, but they did tell me that it took so long to hear back as to if they were a part of the show, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of like sits with you too, because it's like 3 months
Yeah.
of nothing, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going.
Oh
So
yeah, exactly. So, but
yes, I would imagine that makes that kind of puts you in like an uneasy space a little bit too, just like
mm-hmm.
kind of waiting to hear back. Like, am I good enough? Was that second interview because they did like me or they didn't like
Right.
me?
Yeah.
All of those things.
Am I the chosen one or not? Like
Exactly. Do you feel
just
like your edit on the show, like what they showed of you, was like? Do you feel like they shorted us as viewers, or do you think that you had a lot more moments there that we were not privy to?
absolutely. I feel like because I'm a very goofy person. I'm a very funny person, and me and Ashmal, we actually connected a lot on our goof level because he's a goof master times 7, and I'm like a goof master times fucking 5. But they didn't really show a lot of our personal moments, or a lot of our funny moments. A lot of the laughter and stuff like that. I am grateful for my edit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm grateful for my edit. I feel like I was treated as like a really nice person because I am. But I feel like I did miss out. Well, I feel like a lot of people did miss out on seeing like who I am internally, and not just
Agreed.
like the surface level who I was on the show.
Unfortunate too that we didn't really get to see you introduced in the show until episode 6. You know what I mean? Like
I
really
know.
become
Yeah.
an integrated
Hmm.
part of the show. Did it
Yeah.
feel as isolating being there as it sort of feels like it would watching, where you're just kind of waiting for your, like, okay, coach, like put me in, like somebody, like is someone gonna pick,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. It definitely did. I even got comments from the producers. It was like, Frank, why are you not getting in the show? And so I had a there was an on-site therapist, and he would tell me, he was like, Frank, you're not being who you are right now on the show. Like, as soon as the camera hits, like, you're just not being the person who you are now. But that's because I was so nervous. You know what I mean? But as soon as I had the conversation with him, I kind of like said, fuck it, I'm just gonna be me. And that's kind of when I got in the house. I got in the house like a day after.
that makes sense.
I started talking, and I started actually talking to the boys. At first, I was kind of like just like avoiding them. I was just so nervous. I don't know why I was so nervous, but
Yes.
I guess yeah,
Seems every person I've talked with has very little experience with polyamory prior to showing
mm-hmm.
up to the show. And I do think that there, while there's excitement, our nervous system can't really tell the difference between excitement or nerves or like
Yeah,
being scared. So it's kind of like feeling so many things at once does make you go a little bit outside of yourself and not
oh
really
yeah.
know how to present yourself. I think that makes a lot of
Mm-hmm.
sense, actually. Was therapy on site helpful in showing yourself on camera? Like, was it helpful in like breaking down some of that barriers?
It was. Therapy was like a pick me up for me. So I
Good.
look forward to the therapy like every day. I always called him to my room. If I wasn't on the show, I mean, if I wasn't in the house, I always called him to my hotel room just to like talk to him and stuff like that. His name was Dr. Barry, but yeah, talk to him, and it kind of really did lift me up. Like I told you, after my conversation with him, it kind of like lit a fire under my ass, and I kind of like said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna communicate with them. I'm gonna actually put myself out there, be vulnerable, and not hold back, and just go for it." And I did it, and I got in the show. So I got in the
Now,
house.
yeah, you got in the house. When you first were seeing all of the couples and you had like the first mixer, was it instantly Ashmal and Rahman that you were hoping, like that you were interested in, or was there any other couple that you were hoping was interested in you as well?
So walking up the stairs, instantly my eye was drawn to Ashmal, Brittany, and Sean. You know,
Love
and then
it.
I was looking at Wilder too.
Yeah.
I got a wandering eye. I was like, ooh, you
Let me
know,
notice every
right? All of them, you know.
all of them.
No, but ideally, but obviously they aren't, of the community. Well, Sean's not, so that wasn't going to happen. But
Yeah.
immediately after that, I was drawn to Ashmal. Not really Ramon, so to say, but they're a couple, so I was like, I'll connect with him too. But he's a great guy, beautiful guy. It's just not, someone I would be immediately drawn to. Ashmal.
Yes. Now, did that change for you as you got to know them? Do you feel like your connection stayed? Because it seemed like from a viewer, your connection stayed with Ashmal a little bit further. You guys were connecting, you guys are kind of moving into one space, and not for Raymond. Like, but did you guys get closer than they showed?
I never really got that close to him,
Got it.
because Ramon, if you saw the show, he was a lot in love with Jonathan.
Yes.
It was kind of abrupt. I was like, how is this happening so fast? Like,
Yes.
but people don't realize that this is not scripted. I get asked this a lot. This is not scripted. It's not a
Right.
scripted show. It's real emotions, and like sometimes you just have connections, and I guess he connected with him on a deep level, and like that just like closed him off to like getting to know anyone else, you know. But luckily, Ashmal, kind of showed some interest and kind of made me not feel like hello,
Yes.
over here.
Yes.
I thought I was kind of like hello over here, but it wasn't that bad.
Wish, like, hindsight being what it is, are you happy that you had the opportunity to connect with Ashmal, or do you wish that the two of them basically like worked their own stuff out? Oh, hey.
I'm sorry.
Which one is this?
This is Zach.
Okay. Yeah, I'm coming up
Wild.
here. I love it. I love that. Um, let me refocus on what I was
Okay,
saying.
go.
It'll come back to me. I have really bad ADHD. Um,
You're asking that.
I ask you, thank you. You helped me.
Yeah.
Do you wish that they had taken a moment to either separate or work things out? Like, did you feel like a second choice there?
I felt like a third choice there.
Yes.
I
Yes.
definitely was a third choice for sure. You know.
Yes.
But I was telling Scott the other day. I was like, you know what? I feel like a third choice. At this point, but let me just make the best out of it. I'm not gonna like. I like multiple times. I was actually going to leave the house.
Right.
I was actually going to leave because I was like, you know what? I feel so like not wanted here. You know what I mean? Especially when Jonathan came back inside the house, I was like, okay, this is awkward as fuck.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't want any part of this. I was like, outside of this, I would never deal with this stuff.
100%.
You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? I feel like an outcast. I feel like, I feel unwanted. So I'm just going to leave. But I was telling Scott the other day, you know what? Let's just make the best of it. Let me just have fun at this point. Because I already know that I'm not going to be,
yeah.
If given a chance, they're not going to pick me.
Were you disappointed that that's how they chose to handle things? Like, for example, when Jonathan comes back, do you wish that there was just more loyalty or more commitment to the throuple?
Absolutely, yeah. I definitely,
Yes.
I definitely wish there was more commitment to me. I was like, I'm
Me
here,
too.
and I'm willing to kind of like put myself out there. I'm making myself vulnerable for you guys. And Ashmal put out, but
Right.
it was Ramon that was just not giving in. He was just
Right.
so hell bent on Jonathan, and to this day I could never understand why, but I guess it just is what it is.
It seems like, to be honest, it was actually worse than how it seemed on screen, and it was already pretty just like unsettling to see you feel not chosen, awkward,
Yeah.
isolated, but it sounds like what they showed us with Jonathan on screen, like the first couple of days where he literally slept with his own blanket and there was like no talking. It kind of seems like that was the dynamic that they went back to with you as well, where it felt like they are a partner and then you are the third, you know what I mean? Like, and just not cohesive.
Yeah, that was actually that was absolutely what it was. Like the first night in the house, like the first night sleeping was just so awkward because like I already felt like, especially at the mixer, especially hearing now what was said in the confessionals, like, oh well, since Jonathan's not available, we're going to just go ahead and I guess we
That
have to choose
hurts.
Frank. I was like, damn, it's like that.
Yes,
That's harsh. Like
absolutely.
it's harsh to hear that. It's like, damn, I'm like really like not on your radar like at all. Like I felt like
Absolutely.
I was chosen just because you had to choose someone.
Yes.
Like even there was one mixer where sorry if I'm rambling, but there was one
No, you're not.
mixer where Jonathan had left and they just chose not to choose anyone.
Yes.
But if you saw that, you saw Ashma was like, let's choose Frank.
Yes, I do. I
And
do remember
Ramon
that.
was just like, no. Like I
Right.
was like,
Yes.
this is so embarrassing. And
Yes.
and like in that night, actually, with fun fact, that night I told my therapist that I wasn't going to step forward for anyone. I was like, this is it for me. I said, I'm not going to do it again because like if they don't show up, but I step forward for them every single time. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And I never put myself out there like that ever. Like in real life, I would never do that. You
right.
know. But on the show, I was like, you know what? Let me be vulnerable. Let me see if it works out. It worked out in the end, but it was just not a genuine feeling.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Like, like I hate to hear that, and I felt for you. It actually made me emotional to watch, for
Mm-hmm.
because we don't even know as viewers that you step down every time, but even just to see you be so open and vulnerable and just acknowledge the fact that, okay, like, yes, they clearly have something with Jonathan, but that doesn't mean that there's not still room here to explore something else. You had such
Mm-hmm.
great intentions, and it was really disappointing to see them not really honor that. And I think the experiment, from a viewer standpoint, if I'm honest, a little bit where it messed up is, and I'm not in the poly community, so I'll
Mm-hmm.
start with that, but it does seem to me like a piece of being polyamorous is treating everybody like humans with their own needs, and not really operating out of jealousy or possession. And it does seem like the show kind of even saying too, like, you guys can't choose Jonathan, so choose someone else. Like, even sometimes a few of the rules of the show and like the concept of the show felt like it wasn't really true to actual
Polly.
polyamory. Yes. Do you
That's so
agree?
true. Absolutely, because I feel like with Polly, a perfect situation with Polly would be we're all in a big ass house, and we're all just dating each other, just having fun, and you kind of follow the relationships that kind of like present itself, throughout singles, couples, everyone's just dating each other, like more like two people, three
Absolutely.
people. Poly is like more people. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it's not strictly just thruples.
Absolutely. And it's not about
Like I feel like it should
possession.
exactly,
Yes.
unicorning and stuff like that. I feel like that there was a
Yes.
lot of that going on. I actually just found out what a unicorn was.
Can you tell
You
me?
know,
Because I've heard that phrase a couple times, and I
mhm.
think I understand it, but I don't know that I do.
Unicorn is basically someone that you invite into your relationship as just like a sex toy. You
I
know,
got it. Okay, that's what it
mm-hmm.
felt like. So it's like a means to fulfill your needs and a void
Exactly.
versus actual connection.
Emotional, yeah, yeah. The emotional is out. I
Absolutely.
believe, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got it. And I did hear a couple of singles reference the fact, even to other couples, I'm feeling a little dehumanized. I'm feeling a little bit like a toy right now. Did you
Mm-hmm.
guys have an opportunity as singles to chat and be like, the power dynamic here feels a little off at any point? Or was it just sort of with your therapist?
Yeah, actually, the singles outside of the mixers and outside of the recouplings, we were not able to talk to each other about the show at all.
I thought so.
So we were kept. It was kept exclusive for the show only. Uh,
Got it.
but half the time, if you're not in the house, you're spending 90% of your time inside of the hotel room with no communication to anybody at
That's what I
all.
was wondering next. Like, Jonathan sort of alluded to like kind of keeping busy with like hotel amenities, and that's like a little bit different of an experience than like something that I've heard of, which is typically like you're
Hmm.
sequestered and kind of like in isolation, sort of like almost in quarantine. Like, you're just kind of in your room, you're waiting, not really doing
Yeah.
anything. Was it just kind of like waiting for your food? Did you have books? Like, what was there to do while you're waiting?
So So first getting there, we go to the hotel room. No one can see us, so we had to literally like hide ourselves from people, and we had to. We're in the hotel room. The first 2 weeks before filming, we're just in there, complete isolation. I think that's a tactic to like a psych tactic or something, just to make you want to be seen by people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We
Yep.
had like an hour of gym time or sun time, not but gym time or sun time, so outside
Got
time
it.
every day. Would have to be coordinated because like we couldn't see each other obviously, so it had to be coordinated. So I'll go out there at 1 o'clock and then I'll go back to separate hotel room. Lena go out there at 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
we do that. They did give us books. They gave me a crossword puzzle book and another
Okay.
book, and I had a jump rope and a yoga mat and
Okay.
YouTube.
I'm I'm
That's what I
not gonna
had. That's
lie,
all I
it
have
does
to
sound
lose.
yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, it sounds horrible. Like it does sort of sound like
Yeah.
lockdown of some
It was
sorts, you know?
it was wild. Yeah, it was absolutely locked down. Good thing I was like on like the 15th, 16th, maybe the 20th floor, so I had a great view of Panama City. It was amazing. So
Oh,
like
good.
I like,
Okay.
my window was like as big as a wall. You know what I mean? So it's like I would
Oh,
just
good.
look out to all this. So I had that to look at. You know, of course, like we'll sneak out and stuff sometimes and like kind of like hang out with each
Good.
other. But
Good. Was the food good? Like what like did you have any good food and was the food better at the hotel or in the house?
the food was definitely better in the house. The
Okay.
food were there was more options at the hotel because the food at
Okay.
the house was catered, so you got what you got. At the hotel, it's
Got
a
it.
big ass menu. It was like unlimited. Like I'll eat like no lie, 45 wings every fucking day, like hot wings.
Was there like a limit? Was it like all you can eat? Like I would do the same thing, 100%. If it's
It's
like
all you eat
just
room
get what you
service.
want. Love
Yeah,
it.
all
Love
you eat
it.
room service, like whatever you want. So
I would be
so
like,
so I'll like specifically. So like on a filming day, I'll call the receptionist and say, "Hey, can I have wings in my house by 9 o'clock?" So whenever we got back from filming, I'll have wings waiting at my door. Sometimes the monkeys will fucking get them and they'll eat the wings.
"Oh my
They're like little
God."
cute ass little
I
monkeys that they'll just come down and
uh-huh.
eat all your shit.
I know exactly what you're talking about because in Costa Rica, it was like the same thing. If you had stuff on it was an open air concept hotel and the monkeys would come
Yeah,
in to the hotel. So I
yeah.
know what you're
I
talking
was like,
about.
fuck, I really
That's
wanted those fucking wings. Now they're closed. The place is closed.
like, give me back
Like,
my wing.
I know, fuck you, monkeys.
What does this look like?
It was wild. They eat
Oh
the
my
bone
God.
dry. Eat the whole
I was
thing.
just
I'm
about to
like,
ask, did
fuck.
they eat the bone? They like spit it out. It's
All
just like
of
a
it.
pile of
All of it.
bones.
They ate it all. Like, fuck that. This is crazy.
You can't even
This
get
is wild to me.
wings without the monkeys
I
getting them.
know.
This is crazy. Um, okay, so what else do I want to talk about? We were just talking about the food. So you were pretty isolated. And to piggyback, yes, it does feel like, and people were wondering this on Reddit too. People were like, does time alone at the hotel make you want to be in a couple more, like more desire to be in a throuple and potentially put up with things you wouldn't? And would you agree with that?
Absolutely. That's what I was saying earlier. I feel like, being so
Yes, that's what I
isolated with
thought.
no one to talk to, I feel like,
Yes,
like at a certain point, you kind of like break and you're like, I really just want someone to like, talk to. I really want
yes,
someone to like, and like, so you get emotional in there, you start to think about shit, it's just like,
absolutely.
you definitely, it definitely makes you want to be in a couple for sure. I feel like that's like one of the psych things that they do for it. I feel like they do it on purpose.
I do too. I
There's
do
definitely
think that
reasoning
that's a
behind it.
common
Yeah.
theme. I think that
Mm-hmm.
you're onto something. When we
Mm-hmm.
look at the confrontation with Maximo and Ash, do you feel like now that we're talking about the like what Polly is, do you feel like they were actually justified in that conversation, or who do you think was right when they approached Eshmal and Raymond?
In regards to what, picking Jonathan?
Some sort of very odd conversation to be having in front of you. And I do believe it was
Oh
about
yeah,
Jonathan.
yeah, it
And
was
you
about
were
Jonathan. Yeah,
there. Yes. And it felt very inappropriate in the first place. But I did notice your facial reaction. So I was like, I wonder what Frank thought of this whole thing.
that was one of the first nights I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna deal with this. This is crazy. Like I'm
Yes.
right here. Like I'm the chosen one, and like and you're
Yes.
still like talking about Jonathan. I say this is crazy. Like
Yes.
enjoy the experiment. You know, like kind of like
Yes.
have fun. Like it definitely made me feel kind of like really really isolated from the couple. I felt like
Yes.
I was just in the house by myself. You know.
Absolutely.
Ashmal definitely as you can see in that scene, Ashmal was actually like like rubbing my shoulder, kind of like making sure I was
Hmm.
okay. But Ramon was just pissed at them. I love
Yes.
Ramon now, but on the show he did put me through some shit. You know,
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
hmm
Yes.
But
I think we can all agree on that.
hmm yeah, that was
Viewers
definitely.
also
I feel like that
wanted
was definitely an inappropriate conversation to have for sure. I should have said something
it
about it, but I felt like I was just like, it's nothing.
we're feeling, and it's so odd to to know what to say. I think you were so
hmm
gracious about how you handled it, but because yeah, I would have gotten up and walked away. Like, I mean, probably not.
hmm
If in reality, I probably would have sat there just the same as you. But like, you'd
Yeah.
think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, how bad does it look if
Yeah,
I just get up and walk
yeah,
away during this? Like,
yeah.
this
I don't
is
want to cause a
like,
scene, but I really want to get
th-
up and go. And
that's the thing.
like one of
Yes.
the scenes too, especially when Jonathan gets at the house. There was one when it got. There was one scene where we're all sitting at the breakfast table, and I'm like talking to Ashma Rahman, and Jonathan comes down, but then Jonathan leaves. No, no, and then Ashma leaves because Jonathan comes and sits at the table because he's like so disturbed that Jonathan's at the table. I was like, here it goes again. So
Yes.
Ashmal leaves, and then it showed. But right after, um, Jonathan left, and I was like, "This is so fucking awkward. Where did they
Yes.
go? Like, it's like what the fuck is happening?" So
Yes.
apparently they
Yes.
were upstairs talking for a couple of hours and just hashing it out. And I guess that's when they kind of like rekindled everything. I was like, this is too much for me. This is too much.
Yes.
I'm just going to be goofy and have fun at this point. you
I
know.
felt so bad for you, Frank. Like, because really, it's truly like, why am I being dragged in this? Like, if you guys had your mind made up, you should have just stayed single, sort of. Like, you should have just waited for the next
I'm
one.
not sure if you saw, but like during the one of the mentions, I actually said that I was like, if you guys are happy there, just choose happy and stay there. Like, don't bring one of us in there. Some of us are actually here to actually have the experience. You know what I mean? So if you're happy there, where Jonathan
Yes.
is, if you're happy with Jonathan, stick with Jonathan. Like don't bring anyone else into it. Like if you're not really wanting to get to know us for who we are, stick with the person you're with.
That
I
was the
said that.
other
I
piece
literally
that
said that
felt
word.
like not Polly. Because, first of all, we didn't see, I don't think we saw you say that. And if we did, I missed it and I've rewatched a couple of times. But,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's not about being exclusive. And it's great that some people do want that. And I get it. Every relationship has boundaries. But like we already said, Polly seems like being open to dating multiple people and not being jealous or possessive. So,
Right.
the idea of just being like, okay, well, this is the person we chose. Like, we're not open to anyone else now, sort of defeats the purpose of what everyone went there
Yeah.
for.
Exactly. So I thought that it was going to be a situation where I can date Ashbal and then Ramon could date Jonathan. You know what I mean? And then we all
Yes,
kind of like are in cahoots with each other. You know what I mean? Like not necessarily like kind of dating each other, but um, that would have been a perfect situation. I feel like it would have been a better fit for the situation. Well,
agreed.
for the poly community.
And
hmm
and just for you, just being there as well.
Yeah.
Viewers were wondering, it shows that you had a moment getting emotional and tearing up, and it shows it after Jonathan basically goes back into being a couple with them. But then they
hmm
point out on in my Reddit board that I posted for this episode that you said on Twitter, X, whatever we want to call it, that
hmm
was actually not what happened. So Can you share with us maybe like what they edited or like what was going on else for you in the house?
Yeah. Well, edits are crazy. That was definitely not the situation. That was definitely not the situation. I wasn't crying because the boys didn't choose me. Obviously, I knew that they weren't going to choose me at the end. You know what I mean? Like at that point, I kind of already knew. You know, like at this point, I'm just having
Right,
fun in
you
the
could already
house,
feel it.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I already felt, especially like that awkward conversation at the breakfast table was like 2 days before. You know, like
Yes. Hmm.
of course, they're not ready to move on from him. You know, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I was crying because I'm a very sensitive person. I'm a very,
Hmm.
very sensitive person, you know? And I like my grandma can come visit me for a day and leave and I'm crying. You know what I mean? That's just how I am. You know, I don't know. So I was crying mostly because like all the connection I made in the house with Brittany and Sean, Corey Wilder, everybody, you know, I was like, I'm just sad I'm leaving. You know, I'm not sad I'm leaving because of them. I'm sad that my experience is over. This is it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And
Totally.
I told the video guys, I told the Mivy, they're called Mivs. I told them, I said, don't tell me you're gonna miss me. Before I started crying, I said, do not tell me you're gonna miss me. Don't tell me how good of a person I am. Please just don't say it because it's gonna make me cry. You know? I get in
Yes.
there, I do the Miv, and they're asking me these questions. At the end of the thing, oh, we're gonna miss you, Frank, and they're still filming. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, you know, you're such a great person, Frank. You're one of the best people we've ever met. I was like, why would you say that? Now I'm crying and shit. And they got it on video. I was like, they knew what they were doing. You know, like
100%. Yes.
yeah,
They
but
said exactly
I'm
what
not
you
tripping.
said would make you emotional. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not tripping. Like I said, big boys cry too. So fuck it.
I thought it was a very vulnerable moment, and I think that people just wanted to know if like something happened off camera, like an additional argument or something happened. But even just being emotional, like you said about leaving everybody, these are real friendships, real feelings, and like
Mhm.
and such an odd experience to go through. It's like trauma bonding. You know what I mean? So of course you feel
Literally trauma
sad
bonding.
leaving, literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
With
because
that
you
being,
know,
you
like I was just gonna say, like with all of the isolation and everything, like those are the people that I kind of like connected with after like 3 weeks of isolation, and even more like not being in the house. It's like kind of like these people are like my friends. Like I'm talking to them now, and I gotta go back to this hotel and like be in silence. You know, it was just it's just a lot. You know.
just going back to not really
Mm-hmm.
talking, not doing anything. I felt for you and it made me feel for the other singles too who we got to see even less. Like I was like
Oh yeah,
like did you guys go home? You know what I mean? Like at any like I don't know. Like obviously not
they were
because here
there.
we see you, but like ugh,
Yeah,
I can't imagine
they,
what
they were there for
mental
sure. They were in
health
that hotel
wise.
room.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that would
It's a
really get
lot.
to
It's
me
a
mental
whole lot.
health.
Yeah. Whew, girl. It was a great experience, but it was
Solitude.
also very challenging. Very, very challenging for sure.
What
It's,
did you learn about
yeah.
yourself from this experience looking back?
Well, I learned that I'm not poly.
Right? Because that was my
Not at
next
all. You
question.
know?
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I learned that I'm not poly. I can't. It's just too much to do. You know, it's just like having to like please two people. It's difficult. Like it's like you got to really be that internally. Because like poly is a lifestyle. You know, you can't just say I want to be poly today. You know, like it's just
Yes,
it's an emotional state. You know, like can you
yes,
actually like do this? I can't do
yes.
it. You know, like I'm way too
Neither.
jealous of a person and way too
Same.
vulnerable as a person to kind of like yeah no. I'm a big teddy bear.
Have
I can't you know no.
because you even said at the same you love you. You've said that you were engaged prior. You said that it ended because of mutual jealousy, like when you got on the show. And
Mm-hmm.
it's that's understandable. You know what I mean? Like that happens sometimes. Like at least I
Yeah.
thought it was very endearing that you were very self-aware of that. You know yourself, you know how you date, you want someone to be all invested into you and you give your all to them. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's reciprocal. Are you dating now?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not dating now, but uh yeah, no, I'm not dating now. I
Not
was
dating now.
dating, but then I'm not
Okay.
anymore. I
Okay,
actually
got it.
started dating my ex again, my ex fiance again.
I was going
Uh
to ask you that, but I
yeah, so
didn't want to be like, okay.
yeah, we still live together, which is awkward as fuck. But
Okay, got it.
We
I
still
am
live together, which
dead.
is really awkward. But you probably saw him in the back, like kind of working.
I was
But
literally just gonna ask you, was that him in the background? Like, was that
yeah,
just
you saw him in the
him?
back. Yeah,
Not us
yeah,
talking
that's
about him
him.
and he's right there. That's
I know
okay.
he's like he's literally listening right now, but it's
No, I've had
fine.
very that's
Mm-hmm.
really funny. So are
Have you ever
you
tried poly?
be open to it? Like I am exactly as
No,
you
you.
described. I'm monogamous. I'm, like one person. I don't know.
Is it
Like
your Leo?
I'm not. My partner's a Leo. He's a Leo. I am
Oh,
an
okay.
Aquarius. Yeah, I'm an Aquarius. I'm born in
Aquarius. Okay.
February. Yeah.
My
But
moon is Aquarius.
you're an Aquarius moon. I'm a Gemini moon.
I'm a Gemini rising.
What's your other sign? Are we like everything reversed?
I'm an Aries. I'm an Aries.
For three, I would be like,
You
this
can
is
run
actually
now. Run
insane.
now.
Yeah. Like this is actually crazy.
I know. Can you imagine
So
if it was just like all mixed?
like sorry, Christian, apparently like I have another soulmate. Like I don't know what to tell you.
And he's 6'7".
Um yeah, and he's 6'7", so like good luck. Like you can't really you can't I could barely see you. Like you know what I mean? Like you're completely out of his sight. Like yeah, like you can't see
That's
him.
hilarious.
So I know that you have to get going to a dentist appointment. I want to wrap up soon. Who are you still friends with from the show? And do you have any regrets? Like we'll end around there.
Okay. I am still friend. Actually, I told you I went out last night. I went out with Brittany and Sean and
Love.
Junior actually.
Oh
But
my God,
I'm really
I love.
close with Brittany and Sean. Yeah. I'm really close with Brittany and Sean. I'm still close with Chris. I love Chris. I wish you guys would have seen more Chris. He's so funny and so fucking great. Chris is amazing. Chris is the white guy with the long hair.
Chris, he had blonde hair, right? You were telling me that you went out last night with Sean and Brittany. That's where we were at.
Yeah. So I went out last night with Sean and Brittany and Junior.
Oh
I'm
yes, and
really close
Junior.
with
Thank
Sean.
you.
Yeah, I'm really close with Sean and Brittany. Like super close with them. Like I hang out with them almost every weekend. We actually have we're making gumbo on Wednesday.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's gonna be so good. I'm so excited about it. But 'cause I love gumbo. But yeah, I'm close with Chris. I love Chris. Chris is such an amazing guy. I wish we just saw more Chris. He's so funny and so hot. Like Chris is hot. Let me see. Lena. I'm close with Lena.
Yes.
And who else? Oh, Jonathan. Me and Jonathan, we talk every day almost.
And ended up like really close
Yeah,
after this. And meanwhile,
yeah,
you
it's
both
super
were
close.
put through like a shit storm. Like it's like you
Trauma
survived.
bonders. We're trauma buddies.
Too like you know what each other went through pretty much. So
Oh man, and he got a butt of it too. I felt so sorry for him. Like poor Jonathan. But he also says that in like in a real like in a real life situation that he would not deal with anything like that. And I'm so the same way. Like
yes.
I really put myself out there for the show, and I like dealt with shit that I would never ever deal with in like real life. But it was a good experience. You know, it really showed me who I was and like what I absolutely do not want in a
Yes.
relationship. You know what I mean? Like what I cannot have in a relationship. What is gonna make me feel unwanted? Like who wants to feel unwanted or like a third choice? That's just like not. It's not a good feeling at all. You know,
So do
it's
you
definitely not.
feel like do you regret doing the show or are you glad that you were able to walk away with friends and like learning what you want out of a partner from it?
During the show, I was kind of having regrets about being on the show. I was like, this is not working out how I thought it was going to work out. This is not the arrangement that I thought it was going to be. This is not like the experience that I thought I was going to have. So I kind of regretted it then. But like now, looking back at it and watching it over again, I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful I actually did it and
Good.
kind of like, went through with it and actually put myself out there and actually stood for someone, and actually, became vulnerable because, usually in real life, I'm not vulnerable. So I'm grateful that I actually did it. So I'm grateful for the show for sure.
Vulnerable because you were vulnerable to people who had a lot going on and it's very
Hmm.
hard for you to be received the way that I think that you will be with your vulnerability because
Hmm.
like I said, fan fave Frank, like we all loved you. Like it's a cumulative feeling
Yeah.
that you won all of us over. We all appreciated your vulnerability. I
Yeah.
resonated with you. So I hope that it
Oh, thank
encourages
you.
you to like keep opening up in small ways and showing up in ways that you feel comfortable.
exactly, and just have someone like I feel like going forward, I'm definitely gonna like want someone that's just like someone that shows up. You know what I mean? Which is one of the regrets. I feel like I should have put myself out there more and kind of like for Ashmo. You know what I mean? But I felt like I didn't want to do that if Ramon wasn't on board. You know, I felt awkward with it. But
Yes.
yes.
Now he talked about you too, Ashmal. So like, is there any chance that you guys would give things a go again? Because he also was like, me and Frank, he just talked very kindly of you. Like he was just like, he
Mm-hmm.
was like, me and Frank had a lot of chemistry. Like I love
Mm-hmm.
Frank. So I don't know. Like, is
I,
that door closed or no?
it's definitely not closed, but
Okay,
I feel like we
good.
haven't explored. We haven't opened it. You know, like
Got it.
we're kind of knocking on the door right now. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like a staring
you know, who knows?
competition. Like
Right,
who's
right.
gonna blink
Exactly.
first?
I'm over
Yes.
there squinting at him. I'm like, hey, you see me?
Yes.
But yeah, I definitely don't think it's closed. He does live in Chicago, so I think that's like I'm definitely down to like talk to him. And like I was just actually with them the other day, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and we were all in like West Hollywood. We all went to brunch together. Me, him, and Ramon, and like Jessica from the show, and yeah, so we still talk for sure.
Good, good. It seems like the show brought together friendships. It seems like, and you'll have to tell Brittany and Sean, I'm such a huge fan of them. They were also like a favorite couple of mine throughout the
Oh
series.
yeah,
And I'm just dying to hear like what their updates are too. Like it seems like a lot of people's feelings on Polly has changed a little bit. I know that they got
mm-hmm.
engaged. So I'm so
Oh
curious
yeah,
to get updates from like all of you. I've been so pleased to like
yeah.
talk with you and get the tea. Is there anything else that you want to share before we hop off?
Um, let me see. Hopefully the casting producers for Traders is watching this because I'm trying to get on Traders.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that show. That show is like top notch. That's like one of my favorite shows. Also, the challenge. I feel like I'll kill it
Yes.
on the challenge
You would kill
for
it.
sure.
Okay,
I'll
so
kill it on the challenge. Me and Jonathan versus each other on the
oh my
challenge.
God, I would love to see that. Stop it, Couple to Throuple
Right.
challenge season. I would be so locked in. So you would do reality TV again. You would return, but just for like challenge type series.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I would ever do another dating show.
Okay.
But who knows? You know, I might. You know, I feel like I would do like if Love is Blind or something like that because I kind of like experiencing kind of like shit I wouldn't normally do. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
So I'll definitely like kind of go out for like a show like that. But I'm not out there seeking it. But if they hit me up, I'll definitely respond.
And I really want them to do
Yes.
a gay season of The Bachelor and like start doing queer seasons. So if they ever
Oh yeah, a
did,
lot of
like
I saw a lot of comments about that. Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
would
that'd be
love to
good.
see you as like a lead. Like I would love to see
Oh
you as the
yeah,
Bachelor. I would love that. I don't know if you would do
uh,
that because it is kind of like a poly experience, but it ends with one. Ends with one. So like
it's a one. Yeah, yeah. I'll definitely do that. Like kind of like a flavor of love moment.
yes, that's my
You're
favorite show. One of them.
what flavor of love? What was the other one? Tila Tequila.
Yep, that was it. And
You've seen
then
that one?
yep, and then Rock of
Brett of
Love.
Love. Yeah, Rock of Love
Yep.
with Brett Rock. Yeah.
All of them.
Um, I know. Yes, such a good show. I'm a reality show junkie.
So am I.
Okay.
Like I've
Yeah.
seen all of them. I got obsessed with Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then I watched all of Candy's like spin-off reality shows. Like I am
Oh
like
yeah.
so obsessed with reality
Oh
TV.
yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
disgusting.
Absolutely.
Well, I
So I'm
can't wait to
definitely open to
keep in
doing it
touch
again.
with you, and I can't wait to see what else you
Absolutely.
end up on. I know that you'll end up back on TV. You are made for TV. You're gorgeous. Like, and you have
Oh,
such a great
thank you.
personality. You're welcome.
You
Everybody,
too.
oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
And I love the bangs.
I really needed that because I'm not feeling them today and I was super self-conscious. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah, I love.
Much for making time in your day. I'm so glad we got to chat. Everybody, make sure you're following Frank. I'm going to plug it again. His socials is _B period Frank. Don't type out the period. It's just a dot, period.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need to remember. Thank you so much. I think I found out everything I wanted to know. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I can't wait to see what you do in the future. I'm going to keep following and keep in touch with me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful I actually did it. It's been a long time coming. But
Yes.
again, thank you so much.
Thank